welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. We're going to be talking about makeup that is under $10 at the drugstore. I did just post on my channel a full video of complexion products that are under $10. Go check that out and I will leave it in the description box down below. If you guys like unfiltered makeup opinions and honest reviews, subscribe and let's get into this video. As I mentioned in my other video, if you haven't watched it, definitely go check it out. There's some great product under $10 for the complexion of your face. Today we're talking about blushes, bronzers, and highlights, all under $10 at the drugstore. Y'all, makeup has gotten expensive. So finding anything under that $10 price point is super hard to do. We are diving into blushes, like I said, blushes, bronzers, and highlights to talk about anything that is under $10. And these are some of my favorites as well that are under $10. I will be putting up on my channel if you guys like this makeup look. It'll be a full face of makeup under $10. So a full face, and it'll pull all of these products together at the end of this series, and it'll show you everything that is under $10 that you can buy for your everyday makeup bag if you're starting a new makeup bag. So stay tuned for that one. Anyway, let's get into all of these beautiful complexion products. I have a box full of these blushes, bronzers, and highlighters. They are so stunning. I used to not wear bronzer. Like when I was a teenager, didn't know what bronzer was. It wasn't even like a thing to wear bronzer back in, 15 years ago. That just aged me quite a bit. So bronzer wasn't really a thing like when I was growing up doing my makeup, so I never really got into bronzer until about 2017 when I started my YouTube channel. I was like, oh, what is this? Like, what does it do? I really love the quality of bronzers. I had like a bronzer kick for like ever. And one of my first high-end bronzers that I purchased was the Too Faced Sun Bunny bronzer. There's still some great options under $10 at the drugstore. There's some great options that are right around that $10 price point depending on where you buy it from, and then there's some bronzers that are a little bit more than that $10 price point. I wanted to pull out some of my favorite affordable bronzers, and to start with, we're going to talk about Wet n Wild. This is the Color Icon bronzer. This comes in, I don't even know how many shades anymore, but it's a very satin formula. This is in the shade Ticket to Brazil. 740A. So this is a very sheen bronzer. Sometimes this one is a little bit, it can be just a little bit too orange on my skin. But in those summer moments when I want a very like sheer bronzer that warms up my face, that really gives me a sun-kissed glow, I head for my Wet n Wild bronzer. This one retails for about $5. And it's gorgeous. It actually goes along with their highlights. Their highlights are so stunning as well. And this is like an honorable mention because it is really pretty. I actually I have like 3 bronzers that are in like this under $10 category. The next one is from NYX. This is under $10. This is like right at the $10 price point, but I had to mention it because it is really, really beautiful. It's just a matte bronzer, and this one is in the shade medium. They do have other shades as well. It is $10. It comes with a full-size mirror, so it's not like crusty. The packaging is actually like pretty nice and sleek, so it is something, it's very, very bougie for being under $10. And then the shade and the formula is just so pretty. It's so silky. This is actually a cool tone bronzer, which is more what I like in a bronzer. It's very mattifying, very, very silky on the skin, blends like butter. It is so pretty. This is one of my favorite drugstore bronzers. We have the Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder from Essence. This is their reformulated, I guess they've repressed it, but I feel like they reformulated too because I did have an older version of this one and I didn't like it as much as I like this one. This one is a very light shade. It's so pretty, very, very smooth, very, very matte. This one is for those people who want just a little bit of like a touch up, a little bit of a bronze, a little bit of that like sun-kissed glow. It's this one right here. And it's really pretty on my skin tone and it built up really, really nicely. I'm wearing this bronzer today and it is so stunning on your skin. I Out of all of these bronzers, I think my favorite would have to be this one on one of those days where I don't want to be like super, super bronzed, but I want to be a little bit warm. Now I do have some like OG go-to makeup that is over $10, so that's not being featured in this video. Now blush is a huge category because I'm obsessed with blush, and I have cream blushes and I have powder blushes. So we're doing cream and then we'll do powder blushes. So I do have 3 different like cream blush or liquid blush formulas. The first one is the NYX Sweet Cheeks Liquid. This is like a liquid blush. It's called Baby Doll. This is so pretty. I love this. It comes in like a little doe foot, and what I like about it is that it's angled, so it's really easy to like dot it on your face and then blend in. You cannot go wrong with this color. Like, look how pretty that is. And it reminds me of the way that it applies as like a lip gloss, but it's so pretty on your skin. Like, it's just, it blends so beautifully. It's very movable. It doesn't dry down really, really fast. And it's a matte formula. And you can either make it look more like a blush stain, or you can make it look, you know, really, really built up and pigmented on your face. It's such a beautiful blush to work with. Again, that's the Sweet Cheeks from NYX. Another favorite of mine would have to be the e.l.f. Putty Blush. Now, I was not a fan of their bronzer. Their bronzer faded on me so fast. It didn't work for me. But I do like the Putty Blush. This is just their original formula. Let's see what the shade is, because I don't know if they actually put the shade on here. They did not put the shade on here. But as you can tell, it's gotten a lot of love. It's very, very buildable, really easy to work with. And this one is very much like a summery color for me. And I either use a brush or I like to use a beauty blender to apply it to my skin. And I always do it before I put like any powder product on. It's this shade right here. It's so pretty. It's very much on the almost like corally side. This shade is. Again, they don't put the shades like anywhere on the packaging after you open it, which is ridiculous. But their putty blushes in general are so pretty. They're very long lasting, very buildable. They're easy to wear. They're like $6 or $7, and their formula for these is just beautiful. Really easy to apply. I do suggest applying it with a beauty blender over a brush. It just tends to go on a little bit easier, especially with cream makeup in general. And then another favorite of mine, which I'm starting to hit pan on. This is the Super Shock Blush from ColourPop, and it is in the color Count Me In. Like, I'm starting to get pan in this because I use it so much. I use a brush with this one, and it's a Sigma brush because this is more of like a bouncy formula. It's not, I mean, it's cream. Don't get me wrong. It is a cream formula, but it's very bouncy, so it's easier to use a brush. But like, look how pretty that is. It is so stunning. This is one of my favorite blushes that I have been using lately. Like, every day, I want a cream blush. This is what I have been reaching for. Very easy to blend out with a brush or with a sponge. And that's what I really like about this formula, is that you can blend it out with a brush if you want to. And this formula, this one in particular, Count Me In, is very matte. So I like to go in with powder blush. And the powder blush that I go in with, if I'm feeling like I want to be really, really dewy and glowy. So now we're going to move into the blushes under $10. And the one that I usually layer on top of any cream blush actually would be Milani's Baked Blush. This is the color Luminoso. This is my absolute like ride or die favorite shade. It is so pretty, such a like luminescent glow to it, and you can use it with a cream, you can use it without a cream, and it's so pretty. It's such a beautiful wash of color. Let's talk about the other blush formula that I like to layer on top of my ColourPop, and that would be the CoverGirl Cheekers blushes. These are so pretty. I have these shades. Let's see if it actually stayed on here, because they put the shades like right on the lid. That's what you peel off. So 150 Pretty Peach, and then 107 Flushed. So Pretty Peach is really, really similar to the NARS Orgasm blush. Really, really similar. It's such a beautiful formula, and this one's more luminescent, very like satin feeling. And this one is very like baby pink. This one's really, really pretty, and it's very cool toned as well. So I love just the Cheekers formula in general from CoverGirl. Yes, the packaging is awkward, so awkward, but it's so pretty. It's so worth it at the end of the day, and they're both cruelty-free. And then I have another blush formula that I do. This is like a go-to as well. It is the Fit Me blushes. I love these. These are actually way better packaged. I wish CoverGirl was packaged like these. But this is in the shade Rose. That's the color. But this one, again, it really reminds me of the NARS Orgasm blush as well, because this has a very like sheen formula to it. This one is so stunning on your skin. I love this in the summertime. It's just like a little bit of like icing on top of the cake. Like if you put a cream blush on, or if you just want something that isn't so like flushed and like glistening as Luminoso, this is the blush to go for. So, oh, just layer on that blush. You can never have too much. Like, look what it just did. That's just one tap, and it just like amps up my blush like crazy. But it's so pretty, so pigmented, so blendable, so buildable. It's a beautiful blush formula. Some really affordable blushes are from Essence, and who would have guessed Essence? I did use these to do my makeup look today. Another really affordable, dependable formula would be any of the Essence blushes. We have the Mosaic blush, which is very pigmented, but it's also very luminescent, and they're satin blushes. These are so pretty. There's the satin one, and then there's the matte touch. And like just the formula in general for Essence is just so pretty. Very buildable, tons of shades, so affordable. I'm actually wearing it today. It was underneath the Fit Me. Now I'm like super flushed. I feel like too much flush has happened today. This blush, I actually got the recommendation from Everyday Heidi. I don't even know if she posts on YouTube anymore, but I loved her recommendation for this. This is one of my favorite blush formulas. It's very deep. It's beautiful for these winter months. And it is the Toasted Almond Blush from Black Radiance. This is a baked formula. It is so stunning. It's like a brick red. And this just looks so beautiful on my skin. And I love to pair it with a lot of the cream blushes and then do this as like a wash of color on top of my blush. Like, it's just such a beautiful formula, and it's so pigmented. Like, look at that red brick color. Again, this is Toasted Almond, and it's one of my favorites. It's so pretty. This is the first like palette that is going to be mentioned in any of these videos. I don't have any like face palettes that have been mentioned because all of them are over $10. But this one is actually right at the $10 price point, and it comes from Essence. This is their Pure Nude Highlighter Palette. I love this one because it comes with a variety of highlights in it. This is actually the highlighter reload, which is number 10. There was like a light variation and then a darker variation of this, but it comes with a champagne, a pink, something a little bit more neutral, and it really reminds me actually of the Layers highlighting palette from Rach Loves, the way that it has all of these variations of highlights all in this palette. You can do one, be done with it, or you can layer it up. So I actually have a different highlight on today, but you can just like amp up your highlight a little bit with any of these. Just really like layer them on top of each other, and they're so stunning. They give this like lit from within glow. They're beautiful. I love this whole palette. Definitely worth it if you're looking for more than one shade of a highlighter, because it has the champagnes, it has the yellow, it has the pink, and it's really beautiful. So Essence also has a single highlighter formula, and these are baked formulas. So I have the shade Be My Sunlight, and I have Be My Highlight. Be My Highlight is what I was wearing before I layered more on, but these are both just beautiful formulas in general. They don't over accentuate your pores at all, and they are really buildable. They're very smooth, and I actually purchased these as a recommendation from Taylor Wynn because I was looking for something that was just beautiful and natural on the skin. So if you guys are looking for something that is really natural, these are the highlights that you should go with, because they just give you lit from within glow, and it's not like a streak on your face. Now, if you do want a streak on your face though, if you want something that's like really, really like, then this highlight is the way to go. This is the Highlight Volume 3. So this is the one for like lighter skin, but they do have 2 other variations of their highlight. It's the pressed highlight formula from Juvia's Place. And I love Juvia's Place. I love me some Juvia's Place because it's always so pigmented and it is so affordable. And this one in particular is like blinding on your skin. I actually have a video of like a full face of just like drugstore makeup. There was no price point to them. And I put this on and I was like, why haven't I been using this more? Because it's stunning. Like, you can layer it on top of another highlight. Let's just add more highlight to my face because, I mean, why not, you know? But this one, oh, look at that. Even just layered on top of another highlight, it looks like wet glass. Like, it's so pretty. This is one of my absolute favorite highlighter formulas, and I rediscovered it in that video. So go check that one out. And then for liquid highlights, this one is right at the $10 price point. I had to include it because they say it is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Light Wand. Don't know because I haven't tried it, but it is a really beautiful formula. It's from Burt's Bees. Who knew Burt's Bees had makeup? But Burt's Bees, the Luminizer Nourishing Highlighter. This is a cream highlight. I don't usually use cream highlights or liquid highlights. It's actually more liquid than anything. And the applicator is really, really awkward, but it's really pretty as a mixer. It's really pretty if you just dab it on a foundation plate or put it on the back of your hand and then you just like slowly tap it into your skin. It doesn't pick up your foundation at all or any kind of powder product on your face. And then look at the glow it gives. It's just very, like, your skin is wet. And that's what I really, really like about it. Like, it's so pretty. And layered with like another highlight too, if you just want it to do a little bit more on your face. It's really, really pretty. Like, I love it. All right, there's everything from blush, highlighter, and bronzer, all under $10 from the drugstore. Stay tuned for eyeshadows and like eye products and also some lip products thrown in there, all under $10, all super affordable, all from the drugstore. I hope you guys like this video. Subscribe if you do, and I really hope I get to see you in my next one. Bye!